Welcome to a new Cleanfax video program called Take 5. Why Take 5? Well, because the interviews and the content are all under 5 minutes in length, wrapped up from the first question to the last word. You can get out your stopwatch if you like and test it out today. Oh, and today's topic may be on the stinky side. You will soon see why. Let's go. Well, with me today is Jeremy Reets, founder and owner of Reets Drying Systems. Thank you, Jeremy, for giving up 5 minutes of your time today.
Thank you for having me here, Jeff.
Cleanfax covers water damage restoration as an industry topic on a regular basis. Something that doesn't come up that often related to restoration is sewage cleanup. Also, something you probably don't talk about at the dinner table too much. Today, we're going to cover sewage cleanup in 5 minutes or less, and the clock is starting now. So, Jeremy, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, my first question to you is, what causes most sewage backups?
Well, it can come from a couple of different things. And one of the things I think you should remember is the difference between a sewage backflow, which means that you're on a sewer system and there's a damage there in the system and it comes back into the home. That is not covered by insurance. So stay away from the term backflow. Most of the time, what you're dealing with is a clog of some sort, and a clog is different. That can be covered. So that can come from roots in a line, or it could come from a septic system that has some sort of damage, some sort of something that's preventing the water from going out. And now, as you're using water, it has nowhere to go, and you have water in the building. So make sure you stay away from sewage backflows, because those aren't covered by insurance, and probably isn't the right answer anyway.
Good information to have. My next question: if you do water damage restoration, do we assume that sewage cleanup is part of the job?
That's a great question. Yes and no, because if you advertise water damage, people don't go, oh, well, this is sewage. I can't call this guy, right? They are assuming that you know how to provide that service. However, there's one additional step. If you look at the S500 ANSI standard, it clearly shows that you need to decontaminate a space that is contaminated, like sewage loss, before you dry. But once you've decontaminated properly, you dry it just like any other project. So to answer your question, if you do water damage, yeah, I think you should be doing sewage remediation, but understand that you have to have specialized training and equipment for it.
Okay. So for the professional restorer, what are some common misconceptions or mistakes related to sewage cleanup,
Jeff? There are a lot. Unfortunately, this is probably one of the areas we're a little soft on in our industry. And the reason I say that is because there's an assumption that I sent my guys to water damage class. Maybe you went to WRT, or you even went to the WRT and ASD combo, and you were gone for 5 days. Obviously, the guys now know how to remediate sewage damage. No. It's not covered. It's not even part of the curriculum, and there's no time to do it. So it's very important that as an industry, we recognize the principles needed for remediation, which is what has to happen. That's the difference, right? How do we get that contamination out of there so then we can start drying the building? So it's clean first and then dry. So the areas where we make mistakes, you said misconceptions, that was probably the biggest one. And then the mistake is that it's not decontaminated properly. So this mistake or misconception that applying some sort of disinfectant to a sewage loss, well, that's going to get it. We're good now. I've sprayed it with the super powerful nuke bomb, right? Well, it may look like that's complete, but just imagine this. This is a kind of something that you can perhaps visualize. You've got sewage all over the floor. What are you going to spray on that so that you feel comfortable with it? So we see the hazard and we know that doesn't work. Well, the reality is, whether you can see the contamination or not on a sewage loss, it's there. And just spraying something on it's not enough. You have to wash thoroughly. So you need to understand the right processes. You need to understand additionally what materials need to be removed so that you can wash and then disinfect or apply disinfectant so that you have a sanitary environment that you can dry.
We have 1 minute left. What are your final thoughts on what a professional needs to know regarding equipment, training, and pricing?
Yeah, I think those are the things that you need to take action on. So equipment, if you're doing water damage already, you probably have air filtration devices. You probably have most of the stuff you need. You do need a way to wash the floors, but not a big investment. So you're there. PPE, training. You need to get to the IICRC AMRT course. That's where you learn how to properly contain, decontaminate, how to work safely. Absolutely have to have that in order to be successful. And I know a lot of people don't have that training, but they're also doing decontamination efforts on these sewage projects. It's time to stop and get the right training. And then finally, from a pricing perspective, there are courses out there that teach you how to properly price that. But knowing what services to add, immediately then how to price that's going to follow. And then go out there and take advantage of the opportunity and clean some of those properties up.
5 minutes, Jeremy. Thank you so much.